right now, back in May, should I say, we spoke to the amazing Melissa Thorpe about her job as the head of Spaceport Cornwall. Fantastic chat that was. Really enjoyed it, and I'm really happy to say she is joining us on the show now again this morning. We're eager to hear what's been happening down Newquay at Spaceport Cornwall. Melissa, hello.
Hi. I was going to start with as well, but I'm going to use that in the future when I get a tough question next time. I think I like it.
I feel like this is going to come home now because you're going to go, oh, the head of Spaceport Cornwall does it now, so I can do it now.
Yeah, it'd be smart.
Thank you so much. That's just made my life that little bit better.
What I'm here for.
Melissa, it's lovely to have you back. You've been busy over the summer by the looks of it.
Yeah, we've been really busy. I'm actually at the Spaceport today. We actually just wound down our exhibit that we had running up here all summer, which was our Launcher One rocket and Story of a Satellite exhibit that had thousands of people come through. So that's now all shut down. But we have opened at Royal Cornwall Museum in Truro a smaller version of that exhibit this week. So you can come and check that out. But beyond that, we've been busy building a new hangar on site, as well as working on our spaceport license. And we've had multiple tours of amazing people, including the head of the UK Space Agency last week down here. So it's been an incredibly busy end to the summer.
You can see Elz's face there right now. It was just every extra thing you mentioned. She's like, what? Do you see what I mean? So last time we chatted, I went home and I ran into Elz and I went, you never guessed the interview I had today. I got to chat to the head of Spaceport Cornwall. It was so cool. Blah 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 blah. Well, so I'm really glad it's today that we're having this interview. Yeah. It's great. Now you get the feel.
It's super cool.
So before we get ahead of ourselves here, Spaceport Cornwall, can you tell us what it's all about? What are you all about?
So Spaceport Cornwall is basically a partnership between Cornwall Council, who own Cornwall Airport Newquay, Virgin Orbit as the launch operator, and Goonhilly Earth Station, who most of us know and love down on the Lizard. And that consortium is here to establish a horizontal satellite launch from Cornwall Airport Newquay early next year. So we'll be the first place in the UK launching satellites to space for the first time ever, which is obviously really exciting for the UK, but even more exciting for Cornwall and the jobs and economic growth and inspiration that will provide locally.
Any chance for a press pass? Nathan, can we organise this? Yeah? No? It'd be lovely.
So you're the head of Spaceport. Can you tell us, what does your job involve?
What doesn't it is probably more the question. No, my team's amazing. We are actually quite a small team for what we do, but I just head up and basically manage all of our activities. The Spaceport team in general, I'm waving to them over there because they're busy unpacking all of our stuff from the exhibit. Really, my job was really lobbying government, stakeholder management. So we have a lot of stakeholders on this project, from the Prime Minister himself to Sir Richard Branson and his team at Virgin Orbit, to all the local schools and our local council. So my job really is to make sure that they're all happy with what we're doing here on site, as well as the local Cornish community. So I go out and I do a lot of the outreach as well.
I did enjoy how you started that off with, it's only, followed by all these really important roles that you do. And it's like, you're not fooling anyone. You're a busy bee. And a big hello to your team there who are unpacking there.
Hello, team.
Obviously, we talked, you mentioned how you're looking to launch satellites from Cornwall in 2022. Can we talk a little bit more about that? Can you give us a bit more of a chat about that one?
Yeah, so like I said, we'll be the first place in the UK to be launching next year. And really what that's going to consist of is Virgin Orbit's Cosmic Girl coming over from California, where she's based, and the rocket that sits on her called Launcher One. You can see that in the photo behind me, wrong way, underneath. And the satellites that will be going onto that rocket will come down to Cornwall, be going through our satellite integrations facility in one end, be put into the rocket. That rocket will come out the other side of the hangar, be put on the aircraft and take off at the end of the runway and go up and launch that rocket into space, and obviously the satellites on board that rocket. We're looking to have basically a 3-day festival around this, Space Fest, which will really be a nod to the history of space and space technology in the UK and the launch and the future of that here.
Oh, count me in.
That's so cool.
Absolutely.
It's so cool.
I mean, I don't think I even need to try and persuade the guys in the back office for trying to go along to that. That is going to be on a tick list. That's going to be on a wish list, I swear, for Nath. Absolutely fantastic.
This is like an amazing opportunity for the county. Like,
Yeah,
this is not something I ever thought I'd hear of going on in Cornwall at all.
absolutely.
So why Cornwall, and why is Cornwall so suited to this?
Yeah, great question. So we've actually been working on this project for 8 years. So 8 years ago, we were approached by the UK Space Agency saying, you're a great potential site for a spaceport. Sorry, emails coming in now. And what they were looking for at the beginning was just kind of basic desktop criteria: long runways, low residential buildup, direct access over the sea. That was a really important criteria. Of course, the airport here met that. We have all the assets. It's an amazing facility that we have here. I think people don't really realize that, the size of the runway we have, the buildings around the airport, and the scale of what we have here is really desirable by a lot of aerospace and space companies. So we ticked a lot of those boxes. And then our partnership with Virgin was interesting because we could actually operate tomorrow this system behind me here. And we operate 747s. Most recently at G7, we showed we're really capable of doing that. So those were kind of the hard infrastructure reasons. But then as we've gone through the journey, we've really stuck our neck out and wanted to stand for something a bit more than just launching. As exciting as that is, we want to make sure that we're launching responsibly and sustainably and as cleaner and greener as we possibly can. So we want to be the most sustainable launch site in the world, and then challenge other spaceports to do the same. Because actually space at the minute, the launch side of it isn't great. Satellites and space technology are fantastic for the environment and monitoring our climate, but the way those technologies are getting to space isn't that great. And Cornwall, we want to change that. We want Cornwall to really stand for that. So hopefully that's some of the reasons moving forward why we'll be successful, is that we can kind of take on the rest of the spaceports around the world and really, make Cornwall proud of our activities in space.
It's quite an interesting point, actually. I've never really thought about the implications on the environment of actually any kind of launches into space. I can imagine. I mean, I can only begin to imagine really the kind of waste that will come from that. I mean, it's at the very tip top of technology. It's not exactly the first thing that comes to mind is trying to make it green. You're just trying to make it work effectively. So the fact that you're actually just jumping in, going, no, we want to make it green as well. It's absolutely brilliant. Obviously, it's amazing. Opportunity, as mentioned before. Do you think this will be the first of many launches for Cornwall? Do you see maybe commercial flights in our future? I know I've got Dave on the Kerner Weather team on Mixcloud who's saying we could do our own weather satellite.
Yeah, and you laugh, but actually we from G7 we announced something called KernoSat, which is a community satellite for Cornwall. So on that first launch will be actually a satellite that's designed, built, and launched from Cornwall. And we really want KernoSat, and this is actually KernoSat 1, so it will be KernoSat 2, 3, 4, 5 in the future. And we really want each mission to be about a local issue, environmental issue. So this first one is actually going to be monitoring the ocean health around Cornwall, and we're working with local partners and charities to identify how we can use this bespoke data to really benefit our oceans around and coastal area in Cornwall. So that could definitely be a possibility in the future, is getting something like that on the next launch. So yes, we're first launch around the Queen's Jubilee next year. And we're hoping to have another launch as well next year, so a second launch. And then just increasing that as the market increases over the next few years. But that's just with Virgin Orbit. We've actually announced a MOU with another partner at Sierra Space, who actually returned from places like the ISS with interesting payloads on board. And this new facility that we're building at the minute, just up the road from where I am right now, will have SMEs, academia that will all be able to come and get involved in the space industry and work alongside some of these amazing companies.
I can't explain the bottled excitement that's currently coming from within the studio, within the office, and on It's really quite funny because I think that was a jokey comment that came in originally from Dave, and then Hannah's quickly come in going, "Wait, what? Really?" Well played.
So you've had a lot of visitors this year, haven't you? I'm super, super jealous of all the school kids visiting to learn sort of like and experience the story of Satellite Exhibition. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, so that was a bit of a brainchild of my team. After G7, we had this rocket here. During G7, it was great. All the world leaders and their delegates could come and see it in the hangar up here, but it was so highly secure that we couldn't actually bring any members of the public up. And so we thought, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we could really show this off to the public? So that's exactly what we did. We put in a G7 Legacy proposal ask. We got a bit of funding from government to put on this exhibit, and we wanted to extend it beyond just the rocket itself. So we put a call out to all our friends in the industry who sent things like satellites down and pieces of kit. And yeah, it was basically the story of a satellite. So we called it kind of the cradle to grave of a satellite. So how they're designed, built, launched, tracked, how that data is used, and how eventually we're looking at things like space debris and deorbiting those satellites once they're no longer useful up in space. So it was that, and how Cornwall plays a role throughout that whole journey as well. So I think it was the first time that people could come and really see what we're doing here, see how Cornwall really is at the center of this industry here in the UK. And the places like Goonhilly and the Southwest Centre of Excellence in Satellite Applications and Exeter University and even the Eden Project, who are all involved in this exhibit, play a critical role in this industry. And we're just growing that. And Spaceport's almost just the cherry on top of all the exciting things that are going on down here.
And now, obviously, you've got, you said you've got this going on in the Royal Cornwall Museum here in Truro. Could you tell us a little bit more about the exhibition there?
Yeah, so this is the next iteration of that. It's kind of a working title at the minute, but we're looking at STEAM to satellite. So it's much more about,
cool.
The pioneering history of Cornwall and the heritage here, and from the steam engine all the way up to now this next chapter of space and technology in Cornwall. So it's kind of telling that story. We have a couple satellites there. We have our Cosmic Girl model as well as the Sarah space model. Unfortunately, we couldn't fit the rocket in. We did measure up for it, but we couldn't actually get it through the doors. So the rocket won't be there, but lots of really interesting information and bits on, how you can get involved in the space industry in the future for young people. It's something that we're really passionate about. There is a half fairing, which is the nose of the rocket with some TV screens showing, the launch itself. So that is in there, a big OneWeb satellite. So there's some cool kit in there right in the entrance when you walk in. We're also going to be having our Spaceport, coveted Spaceport merchandise for sale there over the next few months, and all the sales proceeds of our merchandise go into our outreach program. So it's not for profit at all. It's back into so we can get out to more schools and inspire the next generation.
That's absolutely brilliant.
That's
and
amazing.
I actually quite like the fact that you considered trying to put the rocket in there. I could just imagine the chaos that would ensue, just the rocket sitting outside the front door. Oh, I've got to take the frame off, guys, I ain't getting in. Typical Cornish sort of way of looking at things. I'm going to get down now to a very hard-hitting question, Melissa. Very hard-hitting. It's very serious. Okay. It's very important. Have you encountered any aliens yet?
You know what? You meet a lot of interesting people in this industry, from the likes of Elon Musk, and who knows if he's an alien. I wouldn't be surprised.
No comment.
But no, not thus far. But I've met a lot of people who are looking into it from a very high scientific level, researchers at NASA that are actually, researching this exact question. So although I haven't actually met any myself, I've definitely met the people who are most likely to meet them. Yes.
So, an interesting one for you. Where would you like the spaceport to be? It's almost like an interview question here. Where would you like to be in 10 years? Where would you like the spaceport to be in 10 years?
I think for us as a team, it's really important that it's a multi-user site, that the airport is, this isn't about shutting the airport down to have a spaceport. This is a full integration of a spaceport into an airport. So we think that's really exciting, that piece there, to have a multi-user spaceport. So landing on your flight from London and you see a rocket about to go into space. I think that's incredibly inspirational for Cornwall. So a multi-user site with, I'm sat on AeroHub right now, which is the business park. We'd like to see kind of grow on space from our new facility that we're building, really themed about the uses of environmental intelligence in space. So I'd love to see Cornwall become the epicenter of that, working with the likes of Exeter University and the Eden Project to really, make Cornwall a global leader in looking at space technology for the uses of environmental purposes. So that would be my vision. I would love to see a fully funded outreach program, part of the curriculum across all schools to enable all children in Cornwall to get involved with a visitor centre here. Those are all my definite would love to see projects down here. And I think we're, well on the way to achieve a lot of those.
Fantastic stuff. That's such a lovely outlook and plan to go ahead with. I've got to ask a bit of a two-parter, and we won't keep you anymore because obviously you're a very, very busy person. Where can people keep up with Spaceport Cornwall, and also how is there any way that people can get involved, like from individuals, voluntary, all the way up to big business?
So getting in touch, we have just a general inbox, info@spaceportcornwall.com, but we're really active on social media and we tend to respond much quicker on social media. So you can find us all over Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm really active on Twitter. I just set up my account recently after putting it off for a long time, but yeah, come and chat to me. I'm at Mel's Good Space on Twitter. And then, in the future, getting involved with us. Yes. So we had volunteers helping us with the exhibit this summer. We have more volunteers helping us at the museum. We will have a small version of kind of an outreach facility up and running early next year, so people will actually be able to come and see the site and see what we're up to as well. We'll be running tours, but we are out and about at events all the time. We go into schools. I'm doing the Cornwall Business Show tomorrow. I'm speaking at that. And we'll likely be hosting more events on site here, including obviously that launch event next year, which we will have a public day at it, and it will be a big deal. We're here last week from California planning that all out. There's many different ways you can kind of get in touch and involved. Like I said, we're a small team, but we're a very friendly team. We're all, really committed and parts of the community here in Cornwall. So, just reach out and chat to us, and we'll definitely respond.
That's something I think we would very much like to do here at Chaos. Legitimately, I think it would be lovely to actually chat to you guys behind the scenes and maybe come up, do some kind of a tour, do some kind of film. You never know. I think that'd be something
Definitely.
for top brass to talk to yourself about. I look and hint and nudge towards the office where they are.
Yeah, we would absolutely love that, and we do things like that quite often, more and more so now. So yes, please get in touch, and we'll have you guys up here. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be fantastic, Melissa. It's been lovely to chat to you again. Really glad to chat to you. I'm glad to get Elz actually to chat to you.
Cool.
She's beaming over here.
I'm just fangirling. Just leave me alone for 10 minutes, and I'll be all right.
Fantastic. We'll keep an eye on everything going on. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, Melissa. Have a lovely day.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
See you again soon.
Later. Bye.
Do you see what I mean now? So great. So much awesome.
Oh,
happy?
That's so cool.
We've probably got more content now to talk on Talk Nerdy to Me later.
Yeah. I thought of a few things space related now, and I'm like, oh, we could talk about that.
Fantastic. Well, I hope you guys on Mixcloud enjoyed that too. I know we did. We're going to now have a little bit of a break, have some music, calm ourselves down before we get energetic again with 5 Minute Move More. Stay tuned, guys. You're here with Pudge and Elz on Chaos TV.